Hi, my name is Robert Skiff. Welcome to Woodblock 2014. This is our first large conference that we're having to develop programs, talk about Oplerno, and create community. So at 9 o'clock, right now, I'm going to be giving a little presentation about what Woodblock is about. You can send us questions to questions@oplerno.com. You can also tweet your questions at #Woodblock, or you can also tweet those questions to oplerno.com. Sorry, tweet those questions to our Twitter account at Oplerno. This is supposed to be very, very interactive, and feel free to interrupt to send us questions throughout the presentation, and Dan Kirk and Daniel Crompton will shoot them to me. So without further ado, let me get to the presentation that welcomes you all to Woodblock, and thank you very much for coming. Okay, so welcome to Woodblock. Again, this is our first live conference. We're both doing the participation in Burlington, Vermont, but also live on the internet. So if you're watching us live on the internet from some location around the world, thank you very much, because this is going to be a pretty exciting time for us, and cutting edge, and we want global participation. So again, people are connecting from all over the planet, and they're here in Burlington, and we're going to be providing you with some tools to create the interactivity and interact about creation of degree programs and our new educational institution. We really want to build a network while Woodblock is going, and to do that, what we have is a bunch of different conferences, but we're also going to be breaking out into smaller spaces, and we'll talk to you about how to participate in that. So our goals. We've talked about this is the first time that we're getting together as a community online. We are also developing networks, and we're going to be talking about the creation of departments, more along the line of traditional universities and colleges, but a little bit with a twist. When we're talking about networks, we're talking about networks of faculty designing programs, but we're also talking about building networks of faculty and students, and really to get students to be participating and inputting with faculty on how to create classes and degree programs that are going to fit the students' needs. We also have different sections on building a degree and building a certificate, building our degree and building our certificate programs. And we're going to communicate to you all where we are at, and in terms of what we've accomplished. And also, we're going to, over the course of the next 4 days, we're also going to be talking about where we're going and our vision for education in the future. But the biggest piece is we want to exchange ideas and to exchange our experiences, and doing that in a variety of different ways, which we'll get to in a minute. Now, as we build Oplerno as an open learning organization, it's really important to keep in mind that we're not building a traditional university. Oplerno is never going to own the physical infrastructure of a building, and we're not looking to become, to have ivy-covered walls. What we're interested is in creating this, which is a network that's online, that uses information technology to empower students and faculty. So we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about networking, not in the traditional sense of networking in terms of meeting people in a social situation, but we're talking about creating connections where you're drawing upon different resources, and you're also branching out, reaching new communities who are interested in the same types of issues you are, but also interested in solving problems in their communities. Okay. So where Oplerno is at right now, what we've done. So a year ago, right this week, we got our first big mention in the Chronicle of Higher Ed, and Goldie Blumenstock wrote a small little article about a group of, at the time it was 2 people who were starting Oplerno. It was myself and Dan Kirk. And we had this idea to redesign higher ed from the ground up, basically because of the cost of tuition, but also to empower faculty and to deal with sort of the adjunct crisis. And from that first article last year in August, we've done an incredible amount. And so let me list those accomplishments for you right now. Courses for credit by the state of Vermont, by the Vermont Board of Education. That means that courses that are developed, taught on the Oplerno platform, are able to be transferred to other institutions if they accept them. And so that means the student is learning at Oplerno that they can apply these courses for credit to their degree programs if that receiving institution accepts them. And so it's the first step in really a full-blown accreditation with both in the state of Vermont, but also we're going to be applying for national and regional accreditation over the next couple of years. We have right now, we've received over 200 applications for faculty to become faculty at Oplerno, and we have right now about 100 faculty members who've signed a contract with us and who have courses under development. Again, these are all courses that the and we've done that in a year is pretty amazing. So we've got 10 courses that are almost ready to go in terms of the final stages where we're going over the content and making sure that everything is working pedagogically. And 2 are listed right now on, that might have changed over the course of the weekend, but 2 are listed right now on the on our marketplace program. And another big thing which Daniel Crompton has done is created our marketplace, which you can get at by enroll at oplerno.com. And the marketplace is where we're starting the whole process of giving students a whole lot more information about the courses they want to take, about the faculty who they'll be working with, and we've integrated that with Canvas so that students can enroll, so that there's seamless integration of data going back and forth through their open API policy. So one of the reasons why we also wanted to Woodblock is to talk about where we're going. We've made a lot of progress again in the last year, but in the next 6 months, we think that velocity of progress and presence is going to increase pretty dramatically. So in order to become a full degree granting institution, you start the process by submitting a letter of intent, okay? And that letter of intent allows us to enroll students in degree programs that we are creating. When you sign your letter of intent and you submit it, a clock starts to tick, and you have 18 months to go through the full process to become a degree granting institution, meaning that if someone graduates, we are able to give them a degree for that particular program and course of study. So sometime in the next 6 months, although, and I'll go over a couple of things that we want to, that we're going to have to accomplish before we submit that intent to be a degree granting institution. That's going to be a big step for us. And when you think again that just a year ago we announced ourselves publicly, and we've been working on this. I've been working on this for the past 2 years. That's a really very, very quick velocity. We've done a lot. Another thing that we're going to be doing in the next 6 months is we're going to finish the development of 100 classes that is going to be the base of our course catalog. Our goal is also to create 5 degree or certificate programs. And here's the big piece, and we're going to share later on in what we're doing to register 100 participants in courses. So that's to have basically 100 people who've taken at least one class with Oplerno. And we're going, sorry, not 100, but 1,000. We're going for 1,000 participants between now and January 1st. Another piece that we'll be talking about a little bit later is finishing the development of our portfolio system. I'm going to talk about that this afternoon and tomorrow, about what the portfolio means and how we think it's going to change education, and about how the integration of our portfolio system with our marketplace and our courses, that we're really sure that that's going to start revolutionize way our students learn, way our faculty teach, but in a way that's really going to be empowering for them, so that they can take their portfolio and show off their skills to potential employers, but I'll have a much better sense of what their own learners and control over their learning. And the other thing that we want to talk a little about is developing a more active online presence. Oplerno really prides itself on its transparency, and on the table, it's been difficult for Dan, Dave, and myself to handle both. Making sure the systems for faculty are in place, working on creating the system for students, and also maintain an online presence. And we've got a pretty big announcement about what we're going to do to change our online presence that will occur Wednesday, and definitely Thursday, and we're really excited for that. Okay. Now, how are we going to organize Oplerno? Okay, how are we going to create? I mean, we have a couple different goals, a couple of different things that I want you all to think about as you're participating in Woodblock, and how we're going to move forward in terms of developing policies and getting feedback about operations. Okay, Oplerno is really into transparent operations. So, in other words, when we start receiving, getting students and doing receiving tuition money, etc., that you're going to have a really good sense of the finances of the operation. And I'm going to share some of that with you all tomorrow and over the course of the next couple of days. So transparency in operations is really important, but that also means that we're going to be transparent in terms of policies and contracts and what people are getting paid. And so we're going to share with you a protocol for that information, but also inputting into our different things that we're doing. So we want to create protocols and not policy. Protocols meaning guidelines, and as few top-down policies and protocols as possible. Our goal, the goal of the team at Oplerno is to empower students and faculty. We want to make sure that the grassroots of Oplerno, that the most important, that the needs of the students and faculty are being met. And to do that, we need to recognize that the administration, if you look at us as administration, but that Oplerno, our team doesn't have the answers. And the answer in the implementations of new programs, etc., they'll come from faculty and students, don't come from administration like at a traditional university. So we really want to empower the grassroots. The second thing about organizing Oplerno is communication. Trying to create ways in which faculty and Oplerno communicate with each other, but also how faculty communicate with each other, and creating a much more collaborative and transdisciplinary, not to use a buzzword, I'll try to avoid those over the course of the week, but people communicating in the last networks, okay, networks where faculty or with other faculty about creating a degree program, developing different policies about the faculty contract and then taking a hard look at what's going on there, and hey, could we modify or change this particular term? Now, Oplerno, myself, and our team are the final arbiters of things like what's going on at Oplerno. We're looking for an incredible amount of input and for you all to create new policies, new programs, etc. But we're going to become final arbiters for right now of what is included and what is excluded. But we'll get to that in a minute. And to do all that, we want to use a wiki. Wiki is incredibly valuable. There's also Canvas site, which we'll talk a bit about. The way in which Canvas is organized in terms of the faculty. But in terms of public and of the community, video cut out? We're back? Dan, when did it cut out? Okay, so let me, if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but I've been told the video cut out. So I'm going to just talk about communication and networks again. So we want faculty to start to communicate with each other and for faculty and students to create their own networks. And we're going to do this by using a wiki. There are also things that, that we can use with Canvas in terms of faculty communicating just with each other. But students and the community are the important parts of what we're trying to do with Oplerno. And there has to be a way for them to participate in the discussions without getting set up with a account, etc. So we're going to use, for a bunch of the discussions, etc., the Oplerno wiki. So I'd invite you all to go to oplerno.wikispaces.com. Now I'm going to do something that I was told I'm never to do by Dan and Daniel, which is go on and share the screens. So this is the Oplerno wiki. Okay, now those of you who don't know what a wiki is it allows for sort of real-time editing of a website as a community. Now the thing that you need to do is, if you want to participate in the Oplerno wiki, you need to go on and either sign up as a guest or join. And to join, it's really simple. You type in a username, a password, and your email, and then you hit join, and if it says already has an account, sign in, and my account is safe. And I'm signed up, and so once you're signed up, you can, first of all, you don't need to be signed up to look at the wiki. There's some great things about participating in discussions about changing things on the wiki. Now, the wiki keeps track of those in the edit function in the edit page, but you can go in and you can go on and participate in discussions. This page is locked, but if we take a look at, let's take a look at something that always kind of important to people, which is taking a look at the faculty contract. Now, in the last I would say January or February, we had a faculty member, a community member, who was taking a look at Oplerno, looked at the contract and commented on the fact that there was a statement that said that you needed permission from Oplerno to sell your intellectual property that you own to another institution, etc., that you needed to inform us. And that faculty member, that community member, correctly pointed out that that doesn't mean that kind of like we don't, faculty really control the IP. And they sent us a couple of emails. It was tweeted all over the web, and we took a look at their suggestion they made in terms of the change, and we changed that policy. That's not going to happen with every particular thing, but it's going to happen we are very open to input on all kinds of particular pieces. And here's the content. Can edit it, create suggestions. This faculty contract, though, remember that the faculty contract on the Oplerno website, oplerno.com, that's what really counts, but this is up for discussion. Okay, let's take a look at a few other pieces. That we're going to be talking about a lot, which is the certificate and the degree development guidelines. That will hopefully load. But they're not. Let's go to the Woodblock schedule. Okay. So here's the Woodblock part of the wiki, and we have here the schedule of events. Here's the schedule. You can click on the different pieces, and you'll see, as we go through as we go through Woodblock, you'll be able to view the videos that we're recording, etc., and comment on them. And again, we would like a lot of comments. And here's schedule for the 4 days of what we're up to. Go back to that certificate and degree development guideline. I'm getting a message. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm getting a message that I didn't cut out on video. We had a snafu, but that's okay. So I guess you guys got, unfortunately, the different discussion on networking twice, but that's fine. So here is the wiki, which has the outlines of the certificate and degree development guidelines, and we're going to be adding some other pages to this as we roll out different sections of Woodblock. And again, the great thing about the wiki is that you can input. Last night I had a conversation with someone about, well, how many classes does a major fulfill? Is it half of the associate? Is it half of the classes need to be part of juror, or is it less, or is it more? How prescribed? These are all things that we discuss as a community. So again, the wiki is going to allow us to do that. I think what I'd like to do right now is open up for any question that might have come up online. So if you've got questions, shoot them to us right now, and I will stop sharing my screen and go back to the Daniel took that for me. So if you have any questions, please shoot them to the Twitter, and then we'll answer them. Okay. Can you guys type that there are any questions going on right now? Okay, so no questions. A couple things to keep in mind. Again, this is a very iterative process. So if you have a particular question of something, or you don't, you like or you don't like something going on, please shoot us a tweet, shoot us an email, start taking a look at the wiki. Let me just go back, make sure that I'm sharing again. So to input or to change something, if you're a guest or if you've signed on, you just hit edit and you make a change. This is a change. And you save it. And what we will be doing, because a lot of these are, come on. Okay. What we're able to do, we're able to keep track and see the recent changes as added. Okay. And there are also particular pieces about discussion groups which we'll be adding as time goes on. So that's basically Woodblock for right now. We are going to be, let me get out the screen share. Okay. Basically, the outline of Woodblock coming up in at 10 o'clock is a panel discussion that would be really, really interesting. And then we'll be breaking out into we're going to be taking a break, breaking out into smaller groups, and then starting to get the process of organizing faculty into departments. There's a lot to go on. Sorry, there's a lot going on. Be patient with us, because this is brand new for Oplerno. This is also brand new because we're trying to do something that's been done before, which is organize a university on a global scale in a different way than the traditional higher ed. So if you're watching and if you're participating, remember that you are part of changing things, and we think changing things for the better. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening over the next 6 months, and we really want you to be a part of it. So thank you very much for your, and we'll see in about 30 minutes. Feel free to tweet, tweet to hashtag Woodblock, or tweet directly to Oplerno, or send us questions at questions@oplerno.com. Oh, okay, here we have a question. What's the plan for resources usually provided by a library? Access to books, journal articles, etc. Open access as much as possible, but what about when free resources aren't sufficient? That's come up with a lot of faculty. That's come up with a fair amount of faculty, especially in the humanities. What we're going to try to do is figure out a way to get some subscriptions to online databases and figure out a way to pay that in terms of an a la carte piece. One of the reasons why we're able to keep costs down for everyone is we make sure that the people who are actually using a resource are the ones paying for it. So we're trying to figure out a very cheap way to get access to journal articles, etc., that aren't open. And what we really need is for, if you're a faculty member and you're developing a class and you need access to those resources, you need to tell us specifically what databases you're going to need for the class, and then we'll work with you to find out how much that is going to cost, and then we'll figure out a way to build that into the cost of your tuition and make that transparent to the students. Okay. We'll keep those coming, and we'll talk with you all in about, we'll be back live in 25 minutes. So thank you for listening, and enjoy.